Did you know the original Monster Hunter, released on the PlayStation 2 in 2004, was part of Capcom's drive to embrace the network adapter? Monster Hunter was designed from the start to have a strong focus on online play, and laid down the foundations of the series in the process. With Monster Hunter 6 looming over the horizon somewhere, I feel we need to start a discussion about some changes the next installment in Monster Hunter could make. Not only is the multiplayer experience crucial, but there are other important game mechanics to consider, such as player expression, monster variety, hunter tools, and so much more. In today's video, I want to have a discussion about 6 things I want from the next Monster Hunter, but some of these things are also based on a lot of feedback from you guys as well. Hi there, if you're new to the channel or not subscribed, hey, what's up? I'm Terroriza. And if you're returning to the channel and are subscribed, hey, what's up? I'm Terroriza. There's your personal extra greeting for being subbed. Welcome to the channel, where we focus on gaming news, reviews, and discussions, but more importantly, what makes them so awesome and how they make us feel. Let's jump in, friends. Number 1 on the list is for specialized tools to return and to have more in general. Mantles were a new addition to Monster Hunter World, and I fell in love with them right away. Not only can they add some extra oomph to your playstyle, but they're also a way to customize your character and even further express what you like by deciding what you want to take with you on your hunts, as you can only have one of these specialized tools equipped at a time, and that's only until you unlock the second slot as you progress through the game. The reason I want more of these is that I feel they were an awesome addition with them having a cooldown attached to them. They were permanent items you got to keep, and they gave you and your character a sense of progression. Some ideas I have on new tools would be for old Monster Hunter flute items to make a comeback, such as the armor flute and health flute. And it doesn't even just have to be the ones we've had already. And yes, we do have the hunting horn, which some may argue defeats the purpose of such items, but as there's so many different weapons in Monster Hunter, but only one weapon that does what the hunting horn does, these would give a great way for players to get some small limited effects to bring to the hunts, whereas the hunting horn could have much more powerful effects, making hunting horn users stand out even more. If done right, that is. And we did have the booster items in Monster Hunter World, but as they're subject to sitting in one area, I feel these could shake it up a bit by being able to hit every player in a wider vicinity like life powders, but maybe with lesser effects or even greater effect as the boosters stay out for a duration, unlike flute items' one-time use. Number 2 on the list is for more weapon designs. And no, not more weapon types, which, don't get me wrong, everyone would really love that, myself included. No, what I mean is for the workshop weapon designs, or whatever they're called, to take a back seat for more unique weapon designs to exist, such as the Black Strobilia or the Flaming Sucker, or Flabensucker, I don't know how to pronounce this. I've heard this was a common gripe amongst lots of Monster Hunter players. As Monster Hunter took a big graphical leap with Monster Hunter World, I could see how it may have been tough to design so many weapons with unique designs, so I don't know if we can blame Capcom too much. But Capcom is on such a roll recently, and I think it would be a missed opportunity to stick with the workshop weapon designs as they all look the same, just with small variations. We did get a lot of cool designs recently in the series, and I would love to see more of that. For our third entry on this list, I want the crabs to return, man. Wrong series. There we go. And not just these monsters, but everyone's most requested water monster, Lagiacruz. You know what? At this rate, let's just bring back some form of water combat with all of the water monsters. That or just find a way to make these creatures work. I may be a bit biased as Monster Hunter 3 is my favorite game in the series, which is tied right alongside Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. But I really miss water combat. I have some very fond memories of it, and while that may just be nostalgia overtaking me, I'm not the only one that is clamoring for this to come back from what I've heard. A commenter from a previous video also pointed out that the crabs especially never got an underwater moveset, as they didn't make it into Monster Hunter 3. Shout out to you, Edo Crabo. I feel the water monsters are so cool, but have such a hard time existing in these recent titles due to them being literally designed for water combat. At least half of their moveset, that is. With Monster Hunter World adding more verticality to the series than ever, I think if they did a new take on water combat, they might really be able to nail it this time. After all, Monster Hunter 3 was released on the Wii, which, if you didn't know, limited the game's weapon types and monster variety a lot. If Capcom can reimagine games like Resident Evil and Monster Hunter World into such grand modern console takes on the series, they should surely be capable of bringing back these cool monsters. Now with our fourth entry, we're going to be getting a bit more technical with the Monster Hunter series in terms of game mechanics, but also just general system flaws I've seen. I find that with the Monster Hunter series, we always seem to get some type of gimmick mechanic. Whether it's underwater combat, or the clutch claw, or wire bug, I will admit these ideas are fun at first. And whether they work out in the long run for the player base is up in the air, but I found that with the addition of the clutch claw in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and the wire bug in Monster Hunter Rise, the series may seem to be getting easier for players. One such example would be the flint shot from Monster Hunter World. The ability to unload your slinger all over the monster's face. Yes, I know, that sounds wrong. Shooting them into walls for a knockdown is a bit too easy when you get the hang of it. Not too bad of a mechanic overall. But then we get to Monster Hunter Rise. Using your wire bug to get out of sticky situations, I could see, sure. But then giving the hunters the ability to ride the monster and string them up by their limbs and control their movements really just seems silly to me, man. It's a bit ridiculous when you take a step back and look at it. And well, I feel monsters are made out to be the prey of hunters and not too imposing anymore. I mean, yeah, sure, hunter literally hunts. I mean, yeah. Not gonna go on a rant about how all of these mechanics ruin something or another. Games need to experiment with new ideas and mechanics to grow after all. But as a longtime fan of the series, I miss the challenge we would get from Monster Hunter. I do have to say Elatreon and Fatalis in Monster Hunter World really did do a lot for me in the difficulty department though. Fifth on this list, which also adds to the conversation that is difficulty in Monster Hunter, I want some form of higher rank hunter scaling. What I mean by this is that when higher rank hunters come to aid in a quest, it's nothing but jolly cooperation, right? Or it seems that way until the master rank hunter absolutely claps the Great Jagger's cheeks one-handed. Getting help in Monster Hunter is what the series is built upon, so we don't need to enforce a scaling system, but rather include it as an option you can turn on or off. Much like the Defender weapons and armor set in Iceborne, they're designed to just help you breeze through the game and to join your friends who are in the late game. But if you want the co-op experience in Monster Hunter and don't have any buddies to communicate with, I feel the high rank and master rank hunters who do nothing but aid you actually can take away from your experience. Not intentionally, of course. If you like your monsters getting clapped by others, well, there's nothing wrong with that. Seriously, I mean that. Some people just enjoy the end game in series like these, and I can dig that. You may have been there, done that with these games. But that's why I offer the solution of an optional hunter scaling mechanic. I, for one, like earning my rewards myself. It feels good to overcome tough monsters in Monster Hunter. That's what this series is all about in the first place. They're all boss fights, and that's why Monster Hunter is so cool. And finally, with number 6 on this list, we come to multiplayer requirements. This one is more of a personal gripe than the others on this list, and has to do with Monster Hunter World more so than others. And I'm sure there are many of you who feel the same way with this. But I have a big issue with small things that don't let you co-op, such as huge hunter rank requirements for later game quests, such as the rank 100 Nergigante quest in Monster Hunter World. I simply don't understand why it has such a huge requirement. There's an argument that could be made that it's so that you proved your mettle in Monster Hunter, so you'll be on even ground with hunters your rank, as to not completely disturb the multiplayer experience. Some hunters out there fail your quest by carding 3 times. It happens, we've all done it. We learn from it. But isn't that where the password and private quest system came in? So that you can check hunters out for your own personal requirements? Another hindrance to the series, which is known for its multiplayer, is not being able to join until the main quest taker has finished watching a cutscene. I don't quite understand this one. If you understand why, please comment down below and let me know. The issue I have is I've played games like Dark Souls, which released over a decade ago now. Oh god. And they figured it out just fine somehow. The host enters a boss arena and watches a cutscene, which doesn't include other players. If the host would like to skip the cutscene, they can do that, and if everyone hits start, the cutscene will skip. But is this really just tied to Monster Hunter World not being able to skip cutscenes, which is amongst the biggest complaints of the players? I can't tell you how many times I was with friends in voice chat just trying to tell them where they need to go to get the cutscene triggered instead of just being there with them if they needed help finding the location. Let's be honest, Monster Hunter World had some pretty huge confusing environments. With all the time I put into Monster Hunter World, I still get lost a bit in the ancient forest and coral highlands. Overall, like I said, maybe there's a mechanic I don't understand, or I don't understand game design as I'm not a game developer. But it is something that I wanted to address, as it really breaks the flow of your multiplayer and co-op experience with friends. There is a ton more I could say about what should make it into Monster Hunter 6 or whatever it's going to be called. If there is one thing you could have return in the next installment of Monster Hunter, what would it be? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down below in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, consider giving it a like or subscribe if you want more Monster Hunter content. It goes a long way to help me as I'm still very small and new in YouTube. I appreciate all the support you guys have given me regardless. Anyhow, this has been Terra Ryza, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!